going to open with, I think, my favorite quote from Ernest Holmes. We are born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied with every good thing, to have fun in living, and to consciously unite with the divine power that is around us, within us, and to grow and expand forever. And just as was in our beautiful reading this morning, we are here to grow and expand. It doesn't matter about the number on the calendar. It doesn't matter about the number on our license plate. What matters is the condition of our mind and our heart. We are here to grow in consciousness, to be more, to love more, to find more beauty, more peace, more harmony in our life and in the life of others, to truly be a catalyst for the change in the world. Ernest Holmes goes on to say, a person must become more if they wish to draw greater good in their life. So we're here to become more and to be open to something more, and that's what we're going to talk about this morning. But before that, I want to tell you that each and every person here is a success. Isn't that wonderful? We're all successful. Isn't that great? Just like scientists who use physical laws, the laws of nature, that they depend on, that are reliable to do their research, their study, to grow and expand, there are metaphysical, spiritual laws that we are using all the time to create our life. Laws of cause and effect, of course, the law of correspondence, the law of reciprocity. So what we put back there, we get back. We're always successful creators. We're creating all the time. The question is, are we happy with what we're successful at? Do we want more in our life? Right, because that's the consciousness for growth. We do want more in our life. We may be successful at this, but we want to be open and available to even more success. So that's wonderful. Well, what we're going to talk about today is one of all of our favorite things, and sometimes our worst enemy, money. Now, this little dollar bill came from Whole Foods yesterday when I got a rebate on some cream I bought. So it's kind of folded and used, but I looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, where did it come from and how many hands have touched this? And this absolutely has zippo meaning, except what we give it. But you know what? It also carries with it a huge bag of collective consciousness. A huge bag of, oh, money is evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. Oh, people with money are terrible. Oh, poverty is a virtue. It carries gross. Oh, gross. I don't know. But it's my choice if I accept those things or not. And I'm going to say absolutely not. We're here today to change our thoughts and ideas about money. Because money, it's not really, it's meaningless, but it's a human invention. We created it because we need it. It's an exchange. And it's what our consciousness brings to the exchange we have in life. Money infiltrates so much of what we do in life. We need to have a good feeling about it and love it and care for it and honor it, you know, and be good to it. It's our choice how we deal with it. It is truly a spiritual idea that we captured to use in this world. We just need to clean it from all of the baggage it holds. And unfortunately, we've claimed that baggage as part of our collective unconscious beliefs, and we need to do something to change it. So Lynn Twist, one of my very favorite teachers, I got to work with her extensively during Jean Houston's mystery school for several years. And she is a global visionary. And her commitment to this world is to end hunger and poverty. She is a beautiful soul. She is very committed to social justice and environmental sustainability. And I just love her work. She has a book called The Soul of Money. And she's traveled the world doing fundraising for good causes to really, she looks at money like water. And she says, money, we're to be in the flow of money. And I want to read a little quote she says about it because it's so beautiful. She said, money is a current, a carrier, a conduit for our intentions. Money carries the imprint, the impress, the approval of our soul. It can be used to extend great blessings to ourselves and others, or it can be used to create great harm. She goes on to talk about scarcity and the toxicity of the scarcity consciousness. And she says scarcity is a lie. We live in an abundant universe, and there's enough for everyone always to be abundantly supplied with every good thing. But we get a consciousness of scarcity, a not enough mantra, and we get a mindset that keeps us limited. And she talks about the 3 myths of scarcity. And the first myth is not enough. Oh, we whine, there's just not enough good to go around. We start whining about things, getting in this mindset of not enoughness, instead of standing in our power and realize every moment is an opportunity for something more, and we start whining and holding on to the not enough, and it keeps us spiraling down into that whole soup of collective consciousness of not enoughness. Yuck. And the second myth is more is better. And I don't know how many of you, but I know the older I get, I find out more is not better. It's just stuff. But I had a little example. One of the joys in my life right now, absolute joys, is I found this old white bowl, probably part of a set of something, and all the others broke, and it was left, and it hadn't cracked, but it sort of cracked. And I put some wild bird seed in it, and I put the bird seed on a little fence out on our patio, and sparrows, finches, birds just come in and out. I just watched them. Yesterday, a mama bird, red-breasted finch, brought its baby and was feeding its baby. Oh, well, I got the idea that more is better. And I thought, if these little guys love this bowl, they're going to love something bigger. Really, doesn't that make sense? So Kirk and I went to Pier 1, and I found the greatest bird dish. It was like so cool, sage green, all these carved birds. Oh, so cute, little chubby birds, just adorable. Well, I put it out on the fence, and it scared the shit out of the birds. They would go, ah, and fly the other way. More is not better in that case. So believe me, Pier 1 got its dish back, and we have our old little white dish back again, and that was the dish that fed the mom and her baby yesterday. That brought great joy into my life. On that note, I forgot what Lynn Twist's third myth of scarcity is. But her third myth is, it's just always been that way. My family didn't have enough. I don't have enough. It's always been that way, so it's always going to be that way. When we just resign ourselves to not enoughness, we just resign ourselves to scarcity. And that not only limits our consciousness, but it really it holds that collective consciousness. Instead of being a consciousness for good, it limits that consciousness. Now, Lynn Twist isn't talking about something new, these myths of scarcity. These have been around for a long time. Jesus, who loved to teach in short stories and parables, told the parable of the talents. And he talked about, first of all, let me explain what a talent is. And in those ancient times, a talent was a unit of currency. And a talent, right now, I'd say a talent, it was worth 58 pounds of either gold or silver, something a burro could carry on its back. And right now, one talent would be worth about $30,000 in silver and almost $1 million in gold. So it's not a small thing. Talent is a big amount of money. And man went away, and he left to 3 of his servants or 3 of his helpers his wealth to care for while he was gone. And he gave the talents to them at the level of their ability. So one man he gave 5 talents, one man he gave 2, and another man he gave 1. Well, the 2 men that have 5 and 2 talents went out, and they went out and they invested the money, and they doubled the money. The 3rd man, who got the 1 talent, he went and buried the talent in the ground because he was afraid he would lose it. So when the man came back, and he was gone a long time, but when he came back, he wanted an accounting. Well, how did you do with my money? Tell me how it went. And the first two explained that they'd double the money, and he applauded them. He was so proud of them. Good job. And when the third man got up, he scolded him. And he said, I can't believe you were so lazy that you didn't use the gifts you had. And here's where the saying comes from, or the reading comes from, about to him who has, more shall be given, and it shall be increased. To him who has not, it shall be taken away. But it's really not taken away by someone. It's taken away from our consciousness, by our consciousness. You know, when we don't believe we deserve something, what happens to it? We lose it. It goes away. We all have talent. There's every person in this room who has abundant talent. We just don't use our talent for good often. We're all talented. And a talent that isn't used is worthless. Doesn't mean anything. So the moral of that parable is we need to use our talent, our ability, our choice, our consciousness, our actions for good. We need to be creating things that are better to grow and expand. Are you getting it? Good, good. Okay, well, so not only did Lynn Twist talk about money's like water, we're here to be flowing. Now, if we're in a lack consciousness, we restrict the flow. So we're not going to be allowing it to flow. Or when we're in a consciousness of sufficiency, and that's her favorite word, sufficiency. My life is sufficient. It doesn't matter how much money we have. It's just a consciousness of sufficiency. If we're in a consciousness of sufficiency, we can hold, where's my beautiful little friend? Right here. We can see the good this can do. We can see the good that money will do. She also goes on to talk about what we appreciates. You know, when you get a new car and you think you have the only car like this around, and you go out and you love it and you start driving, you see every other car like it you see so many other cars like it on the road, you know, because your consciousness is there. Well, what we appreciate grows and expands, and we start being able to appreciate other things. Buddha's wisdom, Buddha used to tell his disciples that what you put your attention, your caring, your kindness to, what you listen to, what you care for, will grow. And he likened that to a garden. And he said, a garden needs nourishment. It needs water, it needs good soil, it needs sunlight, and it needs tending to. The things we tend to grow, right? The things we take care of, right, they grow. So we have to be sure we're caring for the things that matter in the right and perfect way. Well, all sounds really good, doesn't it? Just say yes, even if you don't think so. Thank you. Just to make me feel good, just say yes. Thank you. Okay. Well, Ernest Holmes said there's a lot of theory in our teaching and not enough practice. Would you agree with me? A lot of lip service, but not enough do the work. Well, if we're going to do the work to really make the change, we've got to start with a couple of things. And then we've got to be consistent at it. So I'm going to help you. I want you to leave today with some practical tools, besides petting and loving your money more and being conscious about it, to do some practical things that we can really create an abundant world, because it's time for change. Collaboration, reciprocity, these are all part of the change that we're waiting to happen. But first of all, if we want to really grow our consciousness around abundance, however we define abundance, if we want to grow our consciousness around money, we've got to trust. We have to trust in ourselves and listen to that still small voice within. Stop being compulsive, but trust ourselves to know what we inherently know. To know the good and right and awesome thing to do. To focus, to trust that truly life is good. And have that conviction to do the right thing. God's will for me is good, and gosh darn it, I'm going to express that. I'm going to express the goodness, to trust my life, to be able to be in that beautiful flow of life and feel free, feel the freedom it brings, the joy it brings to do that. So to have trust and conviction and great patience. Sorry about that one. But this is a physical world that's dense, and it takes a while to manifest things oftentimes here in this physical world. And we have to have patience with ourselves and absolute patience with Spirit, with God. How many of you pray for things and don't get it right away? Keep praying. And keep doing your work. Keep doing your part. Keep being guided. Because, as I said, we can trust and have conviction and have patience, and then go out and do something totally different. Start whining, wah, wah, wah again. Start complaining and whining and being upset again. And we negate all the good that we just did or affirmed. We have to be consistent in our practice. And the answer to that is okay. Okay, good. We have to be consistent. Now, imagine either a beautifully, perfectly formed triangle or a stool with three legs. We have to have three parts of our life equally balanced in order for us to be consistently in alignment with the flow of God's abundant good. Number one, and we talk about this all the time, and it was in the reading this morning, we have to have our thoughts focused on what is good and right and true. We have to have our thoughts focused on, I live in an abundant universe. I am divinely made. I am here to receive God's abundant blessings. Our thoughts need to be focused on that. But if you have that strong leg of your thoughts of affirmation and goodness, but then you go to your feelings and actually you don't really feel worthy of any of that, and you get small when you go to your feelings, it doesn't work. Now, our feelings can come from our own past, or again, we can inherit it from that collective consciousness. We need to clean out our feelings and do what we need to do to know who we truly are. Who we truly are. That we're divinely made. We have everything we need right now to be a greater success than we were in the last moment. We need to have our feelings match our thoughts. If we say, I live in an abundant universe, you better go out and change your perception and start looking for all the abundance around you. If you say, oh, I am divinely made, go look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, look at all the things I can do. Look how amazing I am. We need to be sure those match. But last, and this is the part I think people really mess up on, we forget to go out and do the action of a prosperous, happy, joyous, beautiful being. We have to have our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions all perfectly balanced so we are consistent out in the world and we're in that flow of God's good. Do you get that? Does that make sense? It's not enough just to think the thoughts. We have to be in alignment with the vibration and the energy of the world. Well, since we're all there together, it's time for us to enlarge our dream. All of us. Because as I said, collaboration and reciprocity, we need that. We need each other. We all have gifts and talents, but we don't have all the gifts and talents. We all have a perfect part to play in this beautiful thing we call life. And if we want to have a whole, perfect, and complete universe manifest in the world, then we need to do our part. We need to collaborate, work together to share our good right here and now. So I want us to expand our dream. Close your eyes for just a moment and just unravel yourself, because no matter where you are in this life, it doesn't matter, as I said, the calendar age. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. It doesn't matter what you see, the reflection in the mirror, the physical. We're perfectly made, and we're the perfect and right age, and everything is exactly right and true about us now to be more. So what is a greater dream right now? And even if you don't have a greater dream in this moment, open the doorway, the channel for God's abundant blessings, for the creative energy, the infinite potential right now. Open to it, because we need to open to it. We need to be available. We need to ask. Life is always there for us. It's our job to be open and available to the abundance and the joy and the beauty and the harmony and the peace and the love that's there right now. God's already given the gifts. Life has already given the gifts. We need to open and be available and receive the good. What is the greater dream right now that each of us can step into for our own life, to be a greater expression for ourselves, and to be and to see this world collaborating and working together for good, for love, for joy, for possibility. And when we set our mind on that path, we find the good wherever we go. We find the blessing wherever we are. I know many people came here today with great sadness and hurt and loss in their heart. And I know truly that as we learn and practice to appreciate and be thankful and to know that we live in an abundant universe, that we find the blessing and the goodness in all things. And our hearts and minds are healed. We know that we live far beyond this physical plane and are touched by many, many things we cannot see. So just breathing into that possibility, I'm just going to close with a beautiful poem, a little poem by Hafez, one of our beautiful 13th century Sufi mystics. Hafez says, all children know God. They don't know the God of names. They don't know the God of don'ts. They don't know the God who does really weird things. They know the God that says only 4 words and repeats them over and over again and keeps saying, come dance with me. Come dance with me. Come dance with me. It's saying, you know, everything in our life really depends on our relationship with Spirit, with God, with the divine, whatever you call it. Our relationship with that power greater than we are that's there for us to use, of which we are a part. It's all that relationship. Come dance with me. And if you and I choose to dance with God, we're dancing with each other because we're all that individualized expression of the one. We can live in that stupendous wholeness if we choose to dance with life, to flow with life, to be part of life. And you know what happens when we do that? You and I, no matter where we are on this journey, we stay forever young and vibrant and alive because we're working with the infinite, eternal Spirit of good. Isn't that exciting? I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. I simply say thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the good that's happening. Know that together we are uplifting, creating, and doing the work we're intended to do. And be sure when you leave today, you share your light, your love, your gift with another. We never know when our smile, our love, our kindness can change someone else's life. Thank you for being you, for knowing more and sharing the love. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.